Today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to set up a website using Google Sites. And we'll be using this for an online electronic portfolio or ePortfolio for the rest of the school year. And so let's get started. If you go to Google Apps, or what we call the waffle, one of your options should be Sites. So click on Sites. And what you're going to do is it will come up with some options for templates. I'm going to suggest you just start with a blank one. It's pretty easy to set up. Now, when you get in there, it will open up with just a blank page that says your page title. And you can make your title your name, and science portfolio. Or you can come up with something clever. It doesn't matter, but I would like you to not use your name in the actual web address. So up in the corner, it says enter site name. You want to pick a website name that is not going to be exactly the same as everybody else's. So if you just say 6th grade science portfolio or 7th grade science portfolio, lots of other people may use that. And so I'm going to say science example, but you might want to do something to make it unique. Maybe your favorite color or something you really like to do. I don't know. Anyway, so now we have a website. Now that you have a website, what we're going to do is add some pages to the website so that you have a little bit more to work with. If you look on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to click on Pages. And right now it says you have one page, the home page. And down at the bottom, you can click on the plus button and a little box will come up that says New Page. The name of this page will be Science Basics. And then you say Done. And there it is. Now you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner of your website now, a little menu is appearing. Our next unit after Science Basics, so we're going to add another page, will be Astronomy. And I am going to say the sun and moon because there's a couple different parts of astronomy. And then we'll add one more, the solar system. And we're going to go ahead and add some other pages later when we get there. So that's all we need to start with right now. Now we're going to go back to our home page. And now here's where we can start personalizing the website a little bit. First of all, this looks pretty boring. It's just gray and it has a plain background. And this is just the cover of your website. So the first thing I want you to do is click on Header Type. And you're going to change that to Cover. Now you'll notice it takes up the whole screen. And then you can change the picture. So on the left-hand side, down at the bottom, you'll see a little arrow. And if you click on that, you can say Change Image. Say Select Image, and then you can either pick one that you have on your computer, or you can just Google something. I like lizards, so I'm going to try to find a cool picture of a lizard. And let's go with that one. So I'm going to say select, and there it is. And so now it says Mrs. Brown's Science Portfolio, and it has a lizard in the background. Now you can go and do the same thing for your other pages. Science Basics, change image, select an image. You can find something that's just kind of a general science picture. I think I might go with a picture of maybe some beakers or flasks. That's something that looks cool and colorful. Maybe I'll do that one. And you can go ahead and go and do that with all of your pages. Now that you have a screen for your Science Basics page, now we need to add some content. So let's start with, what content are we supposed to add? Well, if you go to Canvas, Canvas has an ePortfolio basic skills page explanation. It'll have a link to this website that I am building right now. And it says topics required: observations, lab safety, 3D science, and measuring in the lab, or the metric system. So this is all the stuff we've done the last 2 weeks in class. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go back to the website, and we need to add that content. Okay, so you're still on the Pages tab. You'll notice there are 3 tabs here: Insert, Pages, and Themes. If you want to play around with themes, this can just change the overall look of your website. And maybe it can change your font and some other things, but you're really only going to need to do that once. So that's all you'll ever do with themes. Insert is probably the menu you're going to use the most. So when you are doing insert, you are mostly going to want to stick with this section here that says layouts. And under layouts, there are a whole bunch of different options. You'll notice that this first one has text and a picture. And that's what you're probably going to do most of the time, is just a text and a picture. So what you'll do to add this to your page is click on it and drag. And there it is. Click to edit text, and then there's a spot for a picture. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. Click to edit text. Now you remember there were 4 topics that we're supposed to do. So let's see, we had observations, 3D science, lab safety, and measurement. Okay, so here it is, and it all looks kind of boring. So what we can do to make this more interesting is actually just move this picture over to the other side. See how it makes a little blue bar? And now it'll go back and forth. There's that, there's that. Now it goes back this way, and we'll just do the same thing with that one. So go ahead and try that, and then I'll show you how to add pictures. The thing I like to do once I have all of my boxes in place is kind of set everything up before I start really adding my big explanations. Now, an ePortfolio is to show me what you understand about what we've done the last couple of weeks. So this is kind of a test, and everything should be in your own words, but you can use pictures from the internet. But let's go ahead and add some titles before we get too much further. So our first title was observations. Then we did 3D science. Then lab safety. And finally, measuring in the lab. All right, so there's our 4 titles. And if you hit plus, this is going to be just like adding the picture to the top of your website. So you'll go to select image. And at least for me, I'm just going to go to Google image search since I don't have anything very interesting on my computer. And my first thing was observation. So the thing I think about with observation is a magnifying glass. So I'm just going to see if there's any cool pictures of a magnifying glass. And there's one that I like. I say insert. And sometimes it doesn't work. And especially if you're doing this here at school, what will happen is Granite District will block a lot of the pictures, and then it doesn't work. Okay, now something just happened that probably will happen to you at some point. And I find it easier, oh no, my picture's gone, rather than dragging in a new picture, which I can do that here, but see how it doesn't really work very well? I think it's easier just to delete that whole thing and drag in a new layout. I'll have to type observations again, but now I've got everything set up the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to say select image again, Google search. Maybe I'll just look at observe and see what we can find. Okay, so there's lots of people looking through telescopes and things like that. So maybe we'll just do this one. So there you go, observations. Now there are two types of observations, qualitative and quantitative. That's from the very first day of school. And you're also going to look at why do we observe things. So on my example website, I'm going to put the questions you need to answer for this section. Okay, 3D science, take a look at your interactive notebook, and the information for 3D science will be there. Lab safety, you could actually include a copy of your lab safety trailer if you would like to do that instead of a picture. So if you click here, you can just say from drive and pull off a copy of your lab safety trailer. If you didn't save one to your drive, you can actually download it right from Canvas onto your Google Drive. So that's an easy way to do that. The last step to making your website is to publish it. Once you publish it, it actually lives live on the web and it is a real website. So there's a couple of steps you have to do to follow this correctly. So click on the publish button and it'll bring up a box, and it will get its web address from the upper left-hand corner of your website where it says enter site name. Don't use your real name, but you can use your initials, and leave this the way it is. Don't try to change it to something. And you can see here that your web address will be kind of long because it lives on the Granite District servers, but that's okay. As with a lot of things in Granite District, they have the privacy settings set really high. So if you want to be able to look at this from home, what you want to do is change this to public. That doesn't necessarily make it so that everybody's going to go and search your website. So you're going to say manage, and then click links. It says links vary, change. Now it says a published website can be viewed by anybody from Granite School District. Click on that and change it to public. Anyone on the internet can find and open. This won't hurt anything. They're not going to change your website, because if you hit done, there's an option here that says request public search engines do not display my site. Check that, and that way people can't just Google you. The only people who will really look at your website are you, me, and then anybody you want to show your website to. Then you're going to say publish. It'll sit there for a second, and ta-da, your website is live, and you can show it to whomever you want. Now, whenever you make a change to your website, you have to hit publish again. Think of it as a save button. So for instance, if we go to the Science Basics page, I've filled in some things that are questions you need to answer when you fill out this page. So if we wanted to do a picture for 3D science, 3D science to me, I'm going to do Google image search. 3D science to me is like experiments in the lab. So I'm just going to type in experiment. And here's some cool pictures. And I'm going to say insert. And there you go. Now I've changed something on my website. I'm going to hit publish again. And now it's going to say, this is what your rough draft looks like. So this is what your saved version looks like. And this is what is currently published. See how that picture isn't there? So then I'm going to say, yep, I want to publish. And now my published version is the same as my rough draft. So go out there and make your website.